We will start the class at 8 o'clock, and I think I will end like around 10 o'clock, 10 or 5 supposed to be, but maybe 10 o'clock is good enough. And then if you have question, I can stay for another half an hour. If you have any question before the beginning of class, you can send me an email maybe a couple hours earlier. I usually wake up like 5 o'clock in the morning, and let me know that you want me to, you want to see me on campus by Zoom. Okay. According to the contract, I'm a full-time instructor at WLAC College. Therefore, I'm not required to hold any office hours during the summer. However, I mean, if you want to talk to me, you have question, feel free to ask me. Okay, can I see you at 7:30 Thomas, or can I see you after class Thomas? Or if you have any question from like problems from the book, you can just send me an email. Okay, when you send me an email, please send it to both email addresses that I show you here. Okay, now the reason is because WLAC College email system usually not working well in some cases. So when you send it to both of my email addresses, then I will catch it. Okay, especially if you have questions from the problems, right? What you can do is you take the picture of the question. Don't assume I have the textbook or I have the problems at hand. Take the picture of the question. Okay. And then take the picture of your work, or if you don't know how to start, let me know what's the issue. Okay, I will try my best to reply you by email. Not because I don't want to see you. No, I don't want you to wait until 7:30 in the morning. Okay, so once I get your email and I get available, then I will reply you right away. That way, then I can basically expedite the hint or the solution for you. Okay, I'm doing this for you, not for me. Okay, don't get me wrong. What else? I have website harjuno.com/Harjuno. I will show you that later on. Okay, now that website is super important for you. Remind me to go over that later. And what else? The textbook. We will use Stats, the 5th edition, Michael Sullivan. Now I know, I believe some of you don't have the book yet. If you are repeating the class, very likely you have the book. That's great. If you don't have the book, or maybe when you're repeating the class, but you actually ran it, I hope what I do here can help you. I post the PDF file for the first 5 chapters in files on the left-hand column. When I say files on the left-hand column, it refers to this one here. Can you see that? I don't want to talk by myself and then you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, this one here, you click that one, and then you will see the files. You see, this is for chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. And if you want to see what the book look like, this is what the cover look like. Yeah, this is what the book look like. Okay, but at least for the first 5 chapters, you don't need it. Hold on, give me a second. How do I get out from here? Okay, I will not go over chapter 1, chapter 2. I want you to read them yourself. Okay, but before you read them, I believe in one of my announcements I told you about the lecture video. Okay, watch that lecture video first so that you get some rough feeling about what chapter 1, chapter 2 about, and then you read this. Okay, now chapter 1, chapter 2 basically reading. And is it important? Of course it will be important, but it's not something that it's more about memorization. Okay, so I may touch base that a little bit here and there, but not really. I can say that I will start from chapter 3. Okay, what else to say? Go back to my syllabus.
Professor, a question real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
Is it okay if I get the ebook version of the book, or does it have to be the hardcover?
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't. To be honest with you, I myself plan to just post the files here, the PDF files here.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yeah, after these 5 chapters, once we are about to get chapter 6, chapter 7, then I'll post more. But then at that time, I may need to delete the first 3 or 4 chapters. You know, it
Okay.
has something to do with the copyright issue. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Now the prerequisite. Formally, there's no prerequisite for this class, but for my class, I need you to be dedicated, of course, especially because this is a Canvas. The platform is Canvas, so you don't see me, I don't see you, I don't know what you do, you don't know, I don't know what you do, such that we have much less interaction, and I have less way to show that I care. Okay, but yeah, you need to be dedicated, and I think my former students say give me the input that you need to be more mature when you are on this kind of remote learning class. Okay, I cannot really tell you to pay attention to me. Okay, and after all, you're already an adult, right? I have to treat you as an adult once you are in college. So please manage your time yourself. Okay, I will try my best from my to do
I
my
can't hear you.
Huh? Anybody cannot hear me. Because if you respond to me, it means you hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, so if you cannot hear me, very likely because of your volume. Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you. I get good response right away. Great, thank you. Means people paying attention. Yeah, great. Now, please pay attention to how to get used to this type of learning. Okay. Now, as I told you earlier, that I will record this lecture, whatever the interaction we have in class. I record it, and I will post it on YouTube. Oh, you know what? Speaking about that, I actually don't need to post it on YouTube. Let me show you where you can get the recording. You go to Zoom. You know what? Before I go to Zoom, let me go to student view first. So that. Give me a second. Okay, you go to Zoom, and then where's the Zoom? Okay, where's the Zoom? Why I cannot see that here? Should be down here, huh? Give me a second. It's under. Yeah, it's under pieces for tutoring. Earlier, it was blocked by that pink or purple band. Okay, you go to Zoom, and then you go to cloud recording. So I purposely recorded on the cloud so that you can actually watch it yourself. Now, I said earlier, I recorded, and then later on I will post it on YouTube. It takes like around 2 hours after they're done processing it. So what happened is this. Once we are done with this class, then Zoom will process the video. It will take approximately 1 hour for them then to give me the video. Now, then I will upload it to YouTube, which take another 1 or 2 hours. Okay, so if we are done at 10 o'clock, the earliest you can get the recording at YouTube, on YouTube, will be like around 1 o'clock. But if you want to get it earlier, you come here, you go to cloud recording. Okay, I'm recording this especially for those students who are not showing up today. Now, what else I need to say? Yeah, just in case that you don't know how to get it. I'll go back to my syllabus. Yeah, before I go to my website issue, yeah, please be be mature in this class. Okay, now course description. Course description, you will see that this class is basically divided into 4 parts. Unfortunately, our class has department final, so I cannot go too slow. Okay, so this class, this Math 227, is divided into 4 big parts. The first part is descriptive statistics. That's a lot of readings, chapter 1 to chapter 3. Chapter 3, some procedures. Okay, and then the second part, the hard one, is probability. That's chapter 5 to chapter 7. This one here is hard. Now, mind you, when I say this section is hard, I'm not trying to talk down to you. No. I'm saying that when I say this section is hard, I'm trying to say that if you find it to be hard, then you're normal. Okay, but don't back off. Just keep on studying, do your best, ask more questions if necessary. Okay, yeah, it's doable. I say it's hard, but it's doable. Okay, I'm not saying that it's hard and you won't be able to do it. No. That's not what I'm saying. Descriptive stats, on the other hand, is actually on the easy side. It's actually on the easy side. Chapter 1 to chapter 2, like what I said earlier, a lot of memorizing terminologies, okay? And chapter 3, procedures, you need to get used to it, but not hard, okay? If you find it to be hard, then you must be thinking too hard, okay? Yeah, the third part is on inferential statistics. I guess I lost the connection earlier. Which last part you heard from me earlier?
I think chapter 5.
Oh, when I say chapter 5 is hard? Oh, start from part 3, thank you. So inferential stats, chapter 8 to chapter 10, the difficulty level is medium. I can say that it's medium because of this. It's actually hard from the point of view that it's pretty much all word problems, okay? And basically the problems dumps all the information all at once to us. And therefore that can be confusing, okay? Well, now, but on the other hand, the easy part, the easy part is once you know what informations that you to use where, it's basically procedure. Okay, now and then the last part, which I don't really cover in my my previous stats class, is linear regression. But I have to cover it here. Linear regression, that's chapter 4, and then chapter 11, 12. Linear regression, and I forgot what else. Now, the thing is, we have 8 weeks and we need to go fast. So how to say it? I really need you to be proactive though, okay? I need you to be proactive. Once we get to probability part here, you can start seeing my recording from my spring semester. You know that in the spring, we start going online basically at the beginning of April, right? And at that time, I start having recording from that probability part. I think the later part of probability, the end of chapter 5, and going on, I have recording up to the beginning of linear regression. Now, in spring last semester, I taught statistics at East LA College. They don't have the department final. It's my own final. So I focus more on probability and much less on linear regression. But because we have department final here, then I basically need to cover more. Of course, then it means less probability, which I don't like. I like to cover more probability because that's actually more useful in your life. Okay, and linear regression, I'm not saying that it's not useful in your life, but you need to actually go pretty deep to use linear regression, and what being covered in our textbook is actually not enough. That's about the material. Now let's do the website first. Let me go to my website. Give me a second. Now my website is harjuno.com. Just remember my last name, harjuno.com. Oops. Do you hear the music? I guess it could be too loud. Okay, no, but you can hear my voice. Okay, good. If you go to that website, you will hear the music. Okay, you don't hear it here, then that's good, so that you can hear my voice. Now, this is my website. I share it together with Mr. Cheng. He is also a full-time instructor at West LA College. By the way, he was my student. Yeah, so be careful when you take my class. Yeah, yeah. Be very careful when you take my class. You may change your major. Okay. Well, we don't talk about him. Talk about me. Either you click on my face, you pick my nose, click on my name. Okay, and then you go to my page, and the one that is extremely important for you, super important for you, is here. You go to teaching. Let me check. Am I recording this? Yes. You go to teaching, go to previous teaching. Now, if you have your phone or you have your computer beside your Zoom, you may want to take a look. Go to teaching, or maybe later on you look at the recording again. You go to harjuno.com. Okay, and then you go to harjuno.com and then click on my face or my name, and then go under teaching. There is a drop down, click previous teaching. Now, this is the list of classes I have taught since fall 2007 at West LA College. Now, I don't really teach stats until much recently at West LA College. So if you want to see my stats classes, you can see from spring 19, winter 19, summer 17, and then winter 16. During those times, I only teach stats either in winter or summer until last semester. Yeah, spring 19. Yeah, until spring 19. Prior to that, I don't teach stats at West LA College. Now let's click one of them. Summer 17. Oops, I don't post anything. Now the reason I say this is important is because let's see spring 19 instead. Spring 19. The reason I say this is important because this is where you can see my old tests. Okay, so your test one later on will look like this. Good? Not this one. This is not 260. My bad. How to get off here. sorry, this one. So this is my test 1. Okay, and if you see the link for this small letter S here, that's the solution. Okay, now usually I have students doing very well, so I use students' work. Of course, I ask for their permission. Okay, they make mistake here and there. Don't worry about it. The reason I use their work because they do very well, not because of the little mistake they make. Okay, statistically speaking, right? Okay, so please don't tell me, oh, Thomas, they make a lot of mistakes. Come on, man, be real. This person get 100 points out of 105 points available. And on average, this person get 108%. You know, so yes, this person doing very well. Okay, let me go back. What I want to show you is that, so you see test 1, the blank one here, and then the solution, test 2, the blank test 2, and solution, the blank test 3, and solution, blank test 4, without solution. If you don't see the link, means I don't post the solution. Okay, and I don't have any plan to actually write the solution here. So once you are preparing for your test 4, for example, you can use this as a mock test. You do it yourself and then show it to me. Okay, and then I give you some feedback. Okay. Beside that, spring 19, I think winter 19. Do I have that? Oh, no, I don't have it. Sorry. How about summer 17? Summer 17, I don't post anything. Yeah, you can try to go back further. I believe I have something that I post. Winter 15, yeah, winter 15, I have test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4 with solution. Oh no, this is not with solution. This is just test 4, the blank test. And final. I usually don't post final, by the way. Usually I don't post final. It's very, very rare that I post my final. Okay, especially recently, I don't post finals because it's for stats class, it's department final. Okay, and they don't allow me to post it. What else? If you want to see my old file, spring 2008 stats, you will see the, oh no, not this one. You will see the raw one, like, what's that? I really think that I thought only one. It's not here. Well, anyway, the one at WLAC College, I don't have a lot of exposure to stats, but I teach a lot of stats at East LA College. If you scroll down further, you will see most of the classes I taught recently is actually stats class. Okay, so fall 19 East LA College, you have test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. Test 1 has no solution, test 2 has no solution, test 3 has no solution, test 4 with solution, and I post the final. Now, the thing is I also post them the quizzes. Okay, now, your test 1, 2, 3, 4 will be parallel to their test 1, 2, 3, 4. However, your quizzes may not be parallel. In other words, the material for your test 1 is the same to the material for their test 1. Okay, so yes, you can study from their test. Okay, again, sometimes I post the solution, sometimes I don't post the solution. Well, because in the past I get into this situation. In the past, I post the blank test, and then student ask me, Thomas, do you have the solution? Or maybe I go back a bit further. Okay, some students ask me, Thomas, do you have sample tests? Then I say, you know what? I don't give you sample tests. I give you my actual tests. Okay, now once I give them the actual test, then they ask me, Thomas, do you have the solution? See how nice is Thomas, right? Oh, I don't, but let me post the solution. So I post the solution. Okay, now, and then, hold on, I need to wait until this comes down. And then I have other students come to me, Thomas, do you have any blank test without solution? Okay, I give you blank test without solution. So let's say, for example, 417. Oh, this is not. What else? 410 maybe. This one, yeah, 410. I have solution, test 1 with solution. I think the last one I didn't have. Maybe when is summary maybe? No, I don't have it at all. Yeah, this one, I have the blank test without solution. And then I have another student saying, how can you give some tests without solution, some tests with solution? Why don't you make it all with solutions? So I cannot make everybody happy. Okay, so I will have some tests with solutions, some tests without solution. Now, if you don't see solution, don't ask me for it. Okay, what you can do, you do your own solution and then send it to me, ask for my feedback. Okay. Yeah, because I have other students asking me to post a test without solution. Okay, now so some students need to have a mock test. So, anyway, so if you want to see how well you do without asking me for feedback, then you can look for a sample test that has solution. Okay, a sample test that has a solution. It's not really a sample test. It's actually it is an actual test. Yeah, this is an actual test without solution here. Okay, actual test without solution. That's spring fall 19. And then spring 19, you will have actual test with solution. Okay. Of course, when you study for the test later on, you study from those tests with solution first. And then you try to get the test without solution and ask me for feedback. Okay, now please remember that your test will be 2 hours plus a couple minutes. I will post the test at 7:45 once you get the test. So let's go to the test page. Give me a second. I purposely provide the instruction for test 1 here so that you know what you will do. Now, in your test 1 later on, I will post the file at 7:45. I will post it here, so you will click that here. And you have until 10 o'clock to do it. Okay, now, I think 2 weeks ago or last week, I keep on thinking that our class run from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So, and then I realized, oh, you know what, we are done at 10:05. So stop working at 10 o'clock, okay? Set your alarm at 9:55, and then you will scan it, or you take the picture, change it to PDF file, okay? And make sure that you upload it to Canvas. It has to be fully uploaded to Canvas by 10:15, okay? I am not saying you start uploading it at 10:15, no. You stop working at that at 10 o'clock, okay, you take the pictures or you scan it, change it to PDF, you upload it by 10:15, it should be done. I will not extend the time. Okay, so you figure out, it's your computer, it's your smartphone, it's your signal, you figure out. Okay, don't push it to me. Yes, I know you have issues. Trust me, I have issues too. Okay, I have issues too. There will be too much things to carry, and I need to keep myself reasonably sane. Okay. No, I believe it's 15 minutes that I give you to upload it is reasonable. Okay. Now, I did have students who say that, Thomas, I tried to upload it and then it turns out that it takes so long time. And that's because, it turns out that's because they try to submit not PDF file. They submit the picture. The reason I want you to turn in PDF, because PDF has much smaller file and takes less time to upload. Okay, that's why I want you to do it in PDF. And it's easier for me to grade too. That's another reason. Okay, now, of course, if you upload it using your phone or your signal is not as good, try to get a good signal. Okay, you may need to move your position. Okay, there are things that are out of my control. Okay, but at the same time, I as an instructor have to be fair. So I have to tell you that what time I will end it, and I already make sure that 15 minutes is reasonable and I cannot extend the time. Please understand me on that one. Okay, now next, what happened, Thomas, if I don't have printer? What you can do if you don't have printer, you write the solution on a piece of paper. You don't need to write the question anymore, but of course you need to mark it. This is solution for number 1, solution for number 2, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, what happens if you don't have scanner? If you don't have scanner, then you take the picture and convert that. Use your phone, take the picture, okay, and then convert that to PDF. There are some app I know available on the Play Store to convert pictures to PDF. But the one recommended students to me, I don't use this because I have scanner, right? But what you can do, you use this cam scanner. But this is for Android though. I was told that if you use iPhone have their own software or their own app to convert pictures to PDF. Okay.
Yeah, on the iPhones, if you go on your notes, when you write notes, you can go ahead and convert it to a scanner.
Hold on. I'm sorry. My voice. I turned down the speaker so low. Okay. Somebody asked question earlier.
No, I was saying that for the iPhones, that on the notes where people put notes, that's where you can use a scanner from. That's how I do it.
Oh, okay, great. So it's notes, huh? Yeah, I don't use iPhone, so I don't know. Thank you. What else? Yeah, if you upload your file to Canvas by your phone, please get good signal. Now, I know that some of you using laptop and you borrow signals from, let's say, from your neighbor or from McDonald's maybe, and you end up with very weak signal. Now, you may need to find a way to get a better signal, okay? Before I go too far, you may want to consider getting, I wonder where I get that, this one here. Do you see this on your Canvas, by the way? Resources for finding low cost home internet and computer. Do you have that on your? Yes, good. Okay, then thank you. Yeah, try to take a look. I get an email from a message from a student saying that, Thomas, I don't have computer. I only have my phone. And what happened later on for the during the test? Try to get a computer, okay? Or of course, another way you can do is you actually write down the problems, right? Okay, you write down the problems and your video to see you. Well, during the test, I need your video facing you, okay? But as I know, you still can use your phone, you know. Anyway, try to get this computer, okay? Try to get this computer, and if I go to my, give me a second. If you go to your announcement, I replied that student earlier with a link. I'm not sure if this is still available. Try to get this one, the LSCCD desktop distribution laptop. So I think they give out a Chromebook, and from East LA College students, I heard they actually gave it out for free. You know, but it takes them a couple of weeks though to reach you. So try to get this as soon as possible. Okay, if possible. I'm not sure if it is still available. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure if it is still available, but you will need computer anyway, right? Okay, I hate to say that that's the case right now. So try to get it, and a cheap one will be good enough. Okay, let me go to the dashboard. Yeah, try to get it from here. And also for home internet, try to get it also. I try my best to accommodate students, and I think the survey, the feedback I get from my students in the spring say that I have been very, very reasonable. Okay, but of course you need to help yourself too. Okay, I don't want to put too much burden on you. That's why I don't, like when it comes to tests, okay, you know, I can actually do the test this way. Just let you know, I can actually do the test this way. I can put the test here and I post everything on Canvas. But there's a problem with this though. What happened when it comes to doing the table, okay, doing writing notation, math notation, it takes a lot of time to actually type them. It's actually easier to just write it down. You see? So for those students who just use phone, for example, try to understand, please understand that I don't do it this way, that everything go online. You just click here, click there. I can't do that because that's not how stats or math in general should be done. Okay, I think I'm done with my website, huh? But let me go back. More things to say about my website. A second. I think if you have your microphone, you can just set it low. So I still need it to be on, but you don't need to be. I think I can set it to be not make it a lot less like this. Okay. Well, thanks for that question though, and your concern. What else? Oh, now the next thing that I want to show you besides my old test. My old test is on my previous teaching. Oops. Right. So you can see all in elementary stats here. Elementary stats, a lot of them. Then you will have a bunch of my old tests. And of course, from my old test, you can see what kind of question usually show up. Okay. Now, I want you to be clear with one thing. If you study hard enough, okay, I can almost guarantee you that you will pass the class because there are questions that I keep on repeating. And there are questions that always show up. But if you want to get an A, you need to study a lot harder. So not only memorizing, but also understanding. Okay? Now, there are some lecture videos that I would like you to watch. It's under video, lecture video. Okay, now, the lecture video part, you will watch this Math 227 under East LA College, Math 227. I think in one of my announcements, I asked you to watch chapter 1 and chapter 2. Of course, you can watch more if you want, don't get me wrong. Okay, but just like other lecture videos, every lecture videos is actually quite brief. Okay, so they only give you the basic idea. Okay, I have a question coming in. What is the policy if we get disconnected during tests? The system will flag you. And I honestly don't know. So far, I don't have that. So far, I don't have that case. Yeah, so far I don't have that case. I think they're scary enough with me. Well, anyway, honestly, I don't know. I don't know, but that would be questionable, right? Why you get disconnected? Okay, yeah. I guess right now we don't worry too much about tests. At the same time, you try to figure out how to get a stable internet connection. Okay, yeah. Instead of thinking about what happened if something not going right, let's figure out how to make sure everything going right. Okay, yeah. Going back here, again, all lecture videos, just like this one, is quite brief. So it will not substitute it will not substitute my lecture. Okay, it will not substitute my lecture. It's supplement. In fact, it will give you a good preview, but it will not substitute that. Okay, mind you that the person who write this textbook, Priola, this is the textbook they use at East LA College. He himself, as far as I know, is not a practicing statistician. Okay, so he knows a lot of theories, but what he does, he's not really going into practicing statistics. He only teaches statistics. Okay, and the textbook that we use is by Sullivan. Sullivan in himself also in the same situation. Okay, he's not a practicing statistician. he is just hold on. I get a chat here. The screen frozen. But can you still hear me? Okay. Yeah, you can hear me. Great. Okay, thank you, thank you. Wow. Seems like everybody go online at the same time in the morning, huh? Yeah, last semester I was teaching in the evening, so I don't really have this issue. But I also heard from other instructors that their internet connection get unstable if they teach in the morning. So, well, I think we anticipate this though. We need to anticipate this. Let me come back here. Can you restart the screen share? Okay, let me try. Oh, I guess this is the reason, huh? Yeah, I forgot to change my screen share. My bad, my bad. No, it's my fault. It's my fault. Now you're here. It's my fault. So, okay, I need to go back here. Let me show you where I get this. So start from the main page, right? Go to my face. And then under video, go to lecture video. And then you scroll down to get this stats. So actually your screen's not frozen. It's mine. I was the one who didn't share that properly earlier. I'm sorry. Okay, so in my announcement, I asked you to watch chapter 1 and chapter 2 from this lecture video, even though it's different textbook though, it's Triola, okay? But it's still a good introduction to your reading for chapter 1, chapter 2. And if you want to read further, that's okay, that's great. But please remember that all lecture videos are just preview. It's not a substitute for the actual lecture, okay? Especially if you know my background, I did my PhD. I didn't finish my PhD, but I did my PhD in probability and statistics, okay? So beside knowing that theoretically, I also applied them, okay? I can tell there's a difference between somebody who actually just teach without applying them, okay? And of course, they need to be strong with the theory, right? Okay, but in reality, sometimes that's not what people do. Now, then I teach you how to not only what is statistic, but also how to use them, okay? Now, the book that we use is Sullivan. He himself also he just write a book, to be honest with you. I don't think he's a practicing statistician, especially when I see the material that he used here, the formula he used. No, that's not how we do it in reality. Okay, let's see. So the way my Sullivan's book, Sullivan's lecture video being done, they tend to be more into exercises. And there's a closed caption here in English or in Spanish. Okay, so in case that just like me, when I first came to the United States, my English was bad. So whatever my instructors say, I have hard time to understand. But once I see the closed caption, it's actually very helpful. Okay, and I would like you to also know that my website is actually being visited by approximately 6,000 people on daily basis. And most of them, of course, not my students. And I was told that plenty of them actually coming from Asia. Before they come to the United States, they actually learn the words we use here and how math being taught, and also from South America. Okay, so not only my students benefit from my website, a lot of other students too. Okay, And of course, because of that, I want you to benefit more than just those who are not my student. Okay? Give me a sec. Let me get up from here. That's for the lecture video. What else? Yeah, that's for the website. Let me go back to our campus. Now, the other thing that I have to mention is about grades. I would like you to remember, I saw at Facebook at East LA College, students start complaining that why the grades they have on campus is different from the grades they get on formally get. And I told them, I tell them this, the grades you get on campus is not weighted. If you look at my syllabus, if you see my syllabus, you see that the final is 31%, the test is 15%, each test is 15%, final is 31%. Okay, so what happened is then you may be doing very, very well in all your tests, but if you zero your final, of course, you will not pass the class. Okay, if you, let's say, get 90% on each one of the tests, but then you zero your final, you will not pass the class. However, Canvas grade book do not put into consideration this 15% and 31%. You see what I mean? Okay, so do not use the grade book as the for reference for your average. No. Okay, I will update you after every test. I will update you what is your average. Let me say it again. After test 1, I will update you what is your average in my class. After test 2, I will update you the average you get in my class. Okay, do not use the grade book as the reference for your current average. No, that's not how you do it, because the grade book here is not weighted. Okay, it's not weighted. Like this one, quiz 0, 5 points here. Okay, this is actually extra credit. Now you will see that if later on I have quiz 0 and then test 1, for example, our grade book will consider the quiz and test as the same weight, both of them 15%. While no, the quiz's average should be only 10%, while test 1 weight 15% each. The quiz is not 10% each. Okay? The quiz as a whole later on, the average for this homework later on, okay, will worth 10%. Okay, now you see that person, if you only see this grade here so far, you will see this person is supposed to get an A, right? And I hope that's the case at the end, but that's not how we're supposed to see it though. Okay, what else I want to say? I already covered the website, the testing, the syllabus, the grades. Oh, the discussion. Okay, so here's how you will do it. Okay, I will open the discussion here. Discussion on June 15, 20. Okay, and then I say intro to our class. Let's go save and publish. Now then, what you need to do is, let me go to student view. You go to the discussion. Okay, and then you reply, just reply here. That's for your attendance. You see what I mean? And that's how I take the attendance. And I will keep this open, like for example, for our discussion today, I will keep it open until the next 2 days, maybe. Okay, so that in case you are not here and you don't have time tomorrow, then on Wednesday, the latest, you need to put your name in. You need to put this here in. Now, what is the reason I need this? Here's the thing. we actually have from the district and Department of Education, California Department of Education, that if you miss, this class is 4 units. So if you miss 4 hours, then I can drop you. Okay, and of course that's not my purpose. Okay, but you need to give me a reason that you are still in this class. Okay, so for me to maintain you, to keep you in my roster, I need evidence, right? You know, this is statistics, so we need evidence, right? We have data. And by you being active, just say that you are here, tell me, no, yeah, you are still in this class. You know what? Okay, how active you are, I don't know, I don't care, but at least I have an evidence. You see what I mean? Okay, so help me to have this evidence. Are you with me, everybody? So it will be best if, of course, you attend the class every day, right? And then once I open this discussion board, just say I'm here, and if you want to leave the class, you never watch the lecture video, I don't care, you know, I don't care. But please do your part here to give me reason to keep you in my class. Now, will I strictly enforce that if you don't show here for 2 days back to back, then I will drop you? No, that's not my intention, you know. But if I really see that, you know what, this person just really not here, I don't know if that person's here, and I may try to email you, hey, are you okay, you know. But if imagine if you don't write here and I email you, don't respond to me, and then at the end you end up with an F. That's not what you want. That's not what I want, right? So I rather actually drop you to save you from an F, because F is bad for your GPA, right? It's bad for your transcript. It's bad for your GPA. Now some people say, Thomas, I'd rather get an F than W. Some people say that way, but I personally have a few, and I'm not alone. I know a lot of other people also see the same way, that W can mean many things. W means you get withdraw, something happened that you have to leave the class, withdraw from the class, drop the class, right? Okay, but an F means you fail the class. Even though you may say, well, Thomas, different people have different reasons to fail the class, but yes, it is fail. Okay, so even though it may have the same meaning, an F and a W have different nuance. An F always have negative nuance. Okay, so in some situation, if I have to drop you, I drop you first, then I ask you to pass. Then Thomas, if you happen to drop me, what should I do to get back to your class? Only one way, pass my next test. That's the only way. If you don't pass my next test, there's no point for me to reinstate you. Okay. So please help me, do me this favor. Give me evidence that you are still in this class by keep on saying here, here, here. And this short is good enough. I don't think it's hard, right? It's reasonable, right? Okay, let me leave the student view. Right now it's 8:56. Let's take a little break. And anybody have a question, by the way? Let's take a little break. Let's take a break. We come back at 9:05 maybe, or right now it's 8:56. So let's come back at 9:06. And then when you come back, if you have question, I can answer it. Basically, any question you have about how we will run this class should be answered today. Okay, and I hope no more question in future. I try to set up the rule that everybody understand and can follow for the rest of this summer. Okay, I hope so far it's reasonable. Let's take our break. We come back at 9:06. I will go on right away to chapter 3. Now, if there's any difference between what I teach you and what the textbook say, then you need to follow mine. Okay, not the textbook, you need to follow mine. Now, chapter 3 consists of two main parts. The first one is measure of central tendency, And the second one is measure of deviation. Sorry, not deviation, variation, measure of variation. Now, there are three measures of central tendency that I would like to focus on. There are more, but I will focus only on three. The first one is mode. Second one is median. The third one is mean. Now, measure of variations, we have variance. And then from there, we will get standard deviation. There's something more that I may mention, but I will not focus on, something called measure of location. Like the C-score, percentile, quartile. Now, I will only cover the quartile part for the third one. Okay, the C-score, we will mention that. I will briefly mention that, but we will use that much later once we get to part 3, inferential statistics. Okay, now let's start with measure of central tendency. The first one is mode. Is defined to be the most frequent data. The most frequent data. Suppose, for example, we have a data set, call that example 1. Let's say we have a data set 23, 19, 24, 19, and then 18. Let's say that's the data set. Then with this data set, the mode will be, the most frequent data will be 19. Okay, because that's the most frequent one. It happens twice in this case, while the rest only happen once. Okay. Now the second is the median. The median is the middle data. After sorted. After you put them in order from smallest to larger, that's the most common one, or from largest to smallest. Now, so in this case, using the same example here, suppose that's the data set. Let me put them in order first. Once I sort it, then it will be 18, and then 19, and then 19, 23, 24. Now then the data in the middle is data number 19. Right? So the median happens to also be 19. Okay, now the key is, don't forget, you have to put them in order first. You have to put them in order first. List that from the smallest to the largest. Now the third one is the median. I'm sorry, the mean. The mean is the sum over count. divided by count. So here the mean will be whatever the sum. Let's see, when I add them, what do I get? You can use your calculator. Let me use my calculator. Oh, another one, I almost forget. The calculator. You need to use TI-84. You need to use TI-84, and I hope you see my TI-84 here. You need to have TI-84. Now, Thomas, I don't think I have money to buy a new calculator. If you already have an actual calculator TI-84, that's great, that's the best. If you don't have it, I recommend you to have that. Once you're done, you can sell it on eBay or at Amazon. And if you can take care of that, very likely you can maintain the price. Let's say you buy for $100, you may be able to sell it for $90. Okay. If you try to look for it at eBay, you may be able to find a used one. And if possible, try to get TI-84 Plus, the one you see here. Something looks like this, maybe different color though. The shell that I have here is gray, right? Some people have the white one, some people have the yellow one, some people have the pink one. But try to get one, okay? Now, for now, you can use, you can download this calculator online. But let me answer this question first, okay? The mean will be 18 plus 19 plus 19 plus 23 plus 24. That's 103. And then later on, I divide it by 5, then the count, right? There are 5 data. I get 20.6. So going back here, then the mean will be, you write that 103 over 5 first, and then equals to 20.6. Okay, now from here, let me write down what I need to say. First one about rounding. In my class, round to 5 decimal places. Now, the one we have earlier, when you use calculator, you get exactly 20.6. Then, yeah, it's only 20.6. But imagine if you have like a very long decimal, then round it to 5 decimal places. Okay. Second, about calculator. For now, you can use every other calculator. Calculator. For the first 2 or 3 weeks, I think. For the first 3 weeks, you can use regular calculator. As long as you can do add, subtract, multiply, divide, square root. Maybe I say 2 weeks, not 3 weeks. Approximately 2 weeks, including your test 1. You can use regular calculator up to test 1. Once you get to test 2, I think you will start needing TI-84 already. Okay, now, but let me show you where you can get a calculator, the trial version. I'm not sure if they will let you have this though. And if you can have that for the rest of this summer, that's great. You can try to go to the app, also TI-84 Plus emulator. Maybe I type it down. TI-84 emulator. Okay. If you do this on your Play Store, on your Android, or if you have iPhone, you may try to find it yourself also. They have that emulator, but don't depend on that though. Don't depend on that, because I have seen cases, students from East LA College, not my students, but students at East LA College actually ask questions online on Facebook, saying that they use the app, but there are some functions on the app cannot mimic the actual function on the calculator. Okay, so, well, anyway, come back here. I think for this, you need to use your computer. You go to this the educationti.com. So you go to TI SmartView emulator software. Okay, and then you have the one either for Macintosh, I think this is for Apple, or this one is for regular Windows based. Okay, yeah, you can download that. And I think they will ask you to get permission, like get some license. Let me show you mine. Give me a second. Give me a second. You see my screen here? Okay. What I used the trial version. Okay. So they will ask you, send you an email, for trial version code, whatever. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I did this like many days ago. Okay. And what I do here, I just click no. I continue with my trial version. I have 17 days left, and then go next. Then I have this. Okay. So if you don't have TI-84 and you don't plan to buy it, then you will use your computer. Okay. I try to save you money though. I try to save you money as much as possible, but there's only so much I can do. Now, of course, just to add, subtract, multiply, divide, and square root, you can use a calculator from your computer. Every computer must have calculator, right? So you can just use this for now. Standard calculator, okay, or I think you can change it to scientific calculator, but I don't think you need it, right? You just need the standard one, the one that have add, subtract, multiply, divide, square root, square. That's good enough. Okay. Let me go back to my notes. Are you clear with the calculator? Oh, please do not come to me and tell me that, Thomas, I don't have calculator like one day before the test. I will not forgive you for that. I tell you this now so that you do it now. Okay? If you need to get the calculator being sent to you, then you order it right away. I believe if you buy it from eBay, you can get it cheap, but make sure you expedite it. You don't want the calculator to arrive after you drop the class. No. Okay? If you go on Amazon, I think you may be able to get it at faster, but maybe at higher price. I don't know other place that you can get it though, to be honest with you. Amazon, eBay, you may want to try to take a look at Craigslist maybe. Okay, but just get something. Again, you don't need this calculator for the next 2 weeks. For your test 1, you just need regular calculator, but for your test 2, especially test 3 for sure, you will definitely need the TI-84 already. Okay. Now, going back to this example 1, is it clear for you? The mode is the most frequent data. The median is the middle data after you put them in order. And then the mean is the sum over the count. Now, the data set I give you here happens to be an easy data set. It's only five numbers, right? It won't be hard. Now, let's see some complication. let's see some complication. Suppose I change that example 1 becomes, suppose I change that example 1 becomes a situation where we have the following. Let's say the data set be 23, 19, 24, 19, 18, and then 23. Let's say we have that data set. So what will the mode be? Now you see that here the 19 happened twice. The 23 also happened twice. The rest actually less than twice. Right? Now in this situation, then when your question is what's the modes, you will say the modes are 19 and 23. Okay. Now, note. Maybe I write it in red. Note. Older statistician, I think I should say old school statistician.
Are these files going to be uploaded to Canvas?
Repeat again.
Are these files going to be uploaded to Canvas? Like these
which file?
These notes that you're taking.
Oh yeah, I will. I actually will post this as a PDF on our discussion board later on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me show you what I will do. So I will change this to PDF, and then I will post it here. Okay, I will say lecture notes. Is it okay? Good question though. Yeah, so that I know there are times that you may not be able to catch me, but if you need me to scroll up, just let me know. Okay, if you need me to scroll up, Thomas, can you scroll up? Just let me know. Okay, yeah, I don't want you to be left behind, and then you say to yourself, I can just see that later on from the notes. No, I'd rather see that. I'd rather you see it now. Okay, but I think so far we are okay, right? Now, old school statistician accept up to 2 modes. Like what we have here. Now, this is the case when we have what they call bimodal case. There are 2 modes. Now, more recent statistician, okay, I can say that's the new school statisticians. Accept up to 3 modes. And we call that trimodal case. Okay. As far as I know, no statistician accept up to 4. So Thomas, how about you? Even though a lot of students consider me quite young, I'm 43 by the way. Okay, but I consider myself old school statistician. I consider myself old school math educator. So the way I teach tend to be a lot of notes, a lot of practice, less online stuff. Okay. Now, of course, I still learn that online can be used to supplement, but cannot be used to substitute. Now, coming back to our topic here, I consider myself old school statistician, so I accept up to 2 modes only. Now, suppose, just for fun, okay, suppose I have another one here, 18. So right now we have 3 modes, right? Right now we have 3 modes. Then you will say the modes are 18, 19, and 23. okay? And you say trimodal case. Or you say no mode. Now for me, I will say no mode because I'm an old school statistician, okay? But if you want to say there are three modes, if you want to say there are three modes, 18, 19, 23, that's okay also, but make sure you say that's trimodal case.
So on a test, if we put either no mode or we put all three and put trimodal case, then
You'll be okay. Yeah, you'll be okay. Yeah, either one of them you say, if you say no mode, if you say no mode, you need to explain why. You will say 18, 19, 23 are most frequent, equally most frequent. Okay. Now, I don't want to say to be strict that, you know what, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. I present this to you. I present this to you so that you see that even in the environment of practicing statistician, there are times that we don't agree if there's a mode, trimodal or bimodal. Okay. Old school statistician accept only one-way tie, like two people having the same most frequent. Now, new school statistician accept up to three ties. Now, what happened about if we have four most frequent? Then, in case of four more frequent, we have no say but to say no mode. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So let me write it down here. If there are four most frequent data, then we say no more. Okay. Now let me erase this so that it's not kind of obstructing our view. Okay. Now, how about the second one? How about the median? Now, notice that if I put them in order, 18, 19, 19, 23, 23, 24, then you see that the median will be located in between these two numbers here. Right? There are six data, so the median will be in between these two numbers. Agree? Now, if the median is in between two numbers, you have to write it this way: 19 plus 23 over 2. Okay, maybe I write it. Note: if the median is located between two numbers, then you need to write the average of those two numbers. The midpoint, actually, to be more precise, the midpoint of those numbers. to write as the midpoint of those two numbers. In other words, you need to write not only the 21, but also this part. You also need to write this. Need to write these two. Okay, now let me tell you what's the difference. Let me tell you what's the difference. Suppose somebody tell you the median, suppose someone tell you the median is 21. Without that, without this computation here, without this thing. What it means? If that person just write 21, it means 21 is one of the data. That's what it means. Okay. In fact, we can say more that the number of data is R. On the other hand, if the median is written this way, like what I wrote earlier, we get the same number though. Don't get me wrong, we get the same number, but the nuance, the difference in the way you write actually have a big meaning. It means, if you write it this way, it means 21 may not be one of the data. In fact, in this case, it's not one of the data, right? It's between 19 and 23. Okay, and then another thing to say that the number of data, is even. Okay, even if you have the following situation, let me do a small example here. Let's say you have this situation, 19, 21, 21, 24, right? You see that the median is between these two 21. You see what I mean? Okay, but because it is in between two numbers, you have to say your median is, the median is 21 plus 21 over 2 equals to 21. Is it okay? Thomas, this is not how I learned it in other class. Yeah. You want to compare me with other class? Please don't do that. Okay. If you take it in other class and you're repeating the class, then either it's your fault or your teacher's fault, not my fault. No. Basically, I don't want you to compare me with other teacher. Okay, because other teacher very likely learn their stats at school only. They are not practicing. I'm telling you, this is how we practice stats. When it comes to median, we write it this way if it is between two numbers. Okay? So, Thomas, what happened if in this case here, what happened if in this case I just write 21? Well, I penalize you half point, but I get the right answer. No, the answer is this, not only 21. The answer for this question, is this, not just 21. Okay. Now imagine if you want me to you want me to tell you that you need to type this. It will be so hard to type this number, right? Okay. That's why I don't want you. You don't need to type it. I prefer you to write it down. Okay. Now I hope it is clear that when the median is between two numbers, if the median is between two numbers, then you have to write that as the midpoint of two numbers. Okay. The way I write it here. Now, last one, how about the mean for this question? The mean, you still add them. I think the mean will be 103, 126. 126 over 6. Happens to be exactly 21. Further note, one more note. That's a lot of notes, huh? One more note. And this will be useful later, maybe tomorrow. One more note. Suppose our data set, hold on. Okay. The formula, location of median, the location. We can use this formula. The number of data plus 1 divided by 2. Location of median in the data set is data number n plus 1 over 2 data. So for example, in our example 1, we have data, 5 data in the data set, right? So the position or location of the median is the 5 plus 1 over 2 data. That's the third data. After put them in order, after sorting. So if we go back here, you see after I put them in order, it will be data number 3. Okay, now in example 2, the data size is 6. So the median is located at 6 plus 1 over 2. That's 3.5 data. Okay, so the median will be, somebody say something? So every day you will post lecture recording and lecture notes on Canvas. Yes, on the lecture notes, I will post it on Canvas pretty much the minute I log out. But for the recording, it will take a couple hours. And for you to get the recording, I don't really post that myself, the recording. The Zoom will post it, they will post it. The Zoom will post it, and then I will need to upload it, post it on YouTube. Okay, now the thing is for me to post it on YouTube, I need to wait until Zoom finish processing it, and then it takes me another 1 or 2 hours to post it on YouTube. Okay, so don't rely on my posting. Basically, for the recording, don't rely on me. You can go to Zoom and see the cloud. Go to the cloud. See. Let me go to a second. Yes, I don't know. How can I get to? Give me a second, okay? That's an important question. That's why I want to answer it right away. See? Oh, here you are. Okay. Now, this is student view. This is student view. Okay, now you go to Zoom. And you go to cloud recording. Can you see me here? Now, then they will actually post it here. So don't rely on me posting it. Zoom will process that themselves, and then once it's done processing, it will post it here. Okay. What I try to do is to download that recording and post it there to YouTube, such that two reasons, such that you don't need to go to Canvas to watch the video. That's one. Second, also to keep the recording for my future students. That's the reason is because they usually delete this recording after maybe 1 year, you know, okay? That's why then I try to post it on YouTube too. Let me go back to my note. Yes, if I have the data size is 6, then the position of the median will be on the 3.5, which means it's in between data number 3 and data number 3 and data number 4. Now, if you look back here, our data number 3 is 19. Remember, you need to put them in order first. Okay, data number 3 is 19. Data number 4 is 23. Right? Okay, so you take the average of those two. Okay, now we have 10 minutes left, actually 15 minutes. Let me ask you to try this question. Example 3. Suppose our data set is, maybe 71, 70, 68, 71, and then 65, 63, 60, 72. What I want you to do is to find the mode, the median, and then the mean. For the median, don't forget you need to put them in order first. Okay. Okay, let me give you maybe 3 minutes to do this. Should be feasible, right? What's the mode?
71.
71. For the median, I need to put them in order first. The smallest one is 60, and then 63, and then 65, and then 60, 60, 65, and then 68, and then 73, 71. Huh? How many data here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 68. Oh, only 279. And then 72. So the mode is which ones?
Mode is 71.
Thank you. The mode is 71. The median is?
I got 69.
How do you get that? So,
I added 68 plus 70 and then divided it by 2.
that's right, because it's in between here, right? It's in between these two numbers. Okay, so I have to write it this way: 68 plus 70 over 2 equals to 69. Okay, you need to write it that way. Yeah, because this 69 is not one of the data, and this 69 actually resulted from the middle of two data. Okay, so that's the one that usually students question me, Thomas, why you mark me wrong? Because the median is 69. I just don't write the work though. Well, the work is what I want to see. Okay. Now, how about the mean? What is the sum, by the way? What is the sum? The count is 8. What is the sum? Somebody say 540, somebody say 520. Can I get the third opinion? 540?
540.
Okay, so 540 divided by 8 is 67.5. Okay, I hope we are all okay with this. Now, what does this have to do? You call this measure of central tendency, but what does it mean, Thomas, to say measure of central tendency? Let me give you an illustration. Once you start reading chapter 1 and chapter 2, you will see something called measure of, or level of measurement, something called level of measurement. If not yet, if you have not read it, then try to read it, okay? But once you get to level of measurements, levels of measurement, then you will see that there are at least 4 types, 4 categories. The first one is nominal. Comes from the word names, basically just name, this category. Okay, for example, the measurements for the data that is not more nominal, for example, color, or gender, or nationality, or maybe another one, races, right? Okay, there's no color better than others. We cannot quantify color also. Okay, likewise gender, male, female, or any spectrum. Okay, they are equal. Okay, nothing comes first, nothing comes later. Okay, likewise nationality, likewise races. Okay, but because they are not quantified, we cannot do the ordering. Right? Now the median, when the mode refers to the most frequent, right? Mode refers to most frequent. So if your data is from the nominal level, then the best you can do is asking the mode. Okay. Oh, by the way, we usually also call this in statistical. We also call that on average. Now, in our algebra class, when we say average, it refers to the mean, right? In our algebra class. But the further we go, the more we see that we realize, you know what? The idea of average is not simply the sum over the count. Like if you have the data like this, for example, okay? For example, I'm Indonesian. And then, of course, most of you I expect to be coming from US, right? Okay, and then somebody may be coming from other country, let's say from Mexico, let's say from Ethiopia. By the way, my best students usually coming from Ethiopia. And if somebody asks, Thomas, in general, your students coming from which country? Then I will say, oh, most of them coming from US. But But when I say on average coming from US, I'm not referring to sum over count, because I cannot add Indonesia, US plus Mexico plus Ethiopia divided by 6. No, I cannot, right? And I cannot put them in order also because all these nationalities are actually just categorical. We cannot say that Indonesia is the best country. Nah, in fact, that's not true, okay? Yeah, every country has its own uniqueness. So once you have a nominal level of data, when somebody asks you the average, then we need to answer according to the type of the data. If nominal level, then we can only answer the mode. On average, they come from US. Okay, now the second level is called ordinal. The second level of measurement is ordinal, coming from the word order. Ordinal. Remember the word order, which means you can sort from smallest to largest, from the lowest to highest. For example, military rank or any ranking. Okay, for example, if you have surgeon, you have colonel, you have general, right? Okay, now the thing is, you can put them in order from lowest to largest, from lowest to highest, but you still cannot add, you cannot subtract, right? So if somebody asks you on average, what's the military rank in the group? If you have a group of military members there, then when we say on average, we can only talk about either the mode or at most the median. Let's say for example, I have surgeon, colonel, general, and then another general. Okay, once I put them in order, then the middle one is general. Okay, that's the median. So what's the median? General. Once I put them in order. Okay, now another type of ordinal level, you can just read from your book. But for example, sometimes we say the car brand. Sometimes some brand actually implies something, right? Of course, if somebody asks me, Thomas, which is better, BMW or Toyota? Then of course BMW, right? Even though if you ask me which one I will buy, I still buy Toyota. By the way, I drive Prius and I'm so proud of that. Yeah, I love my Prius so much. What other thing? Basically something you can put in order, but you cannot add, you cannot subtract. Okay, now the third one, the last one I remember is ratio. What is the third one? I need to look at the book. Interval, thank you. Interval. Yeah, interval is when you can add and subtract already. So that's usually, both of these usually numbers. Usually. Okay, you can add, you can subtract, but the difference between these two, is the ratio has what we call absolute zero. While the interval without absolute zero. Thomas, what do you mean? Without absolute zero. Interval is like, for example, our GPA. Okay. If my GPA is 2.0 and your GPA is 4.0, it doesn't mean that you are 2 times smarter than me. No. But Thomas, my GPA is twice of yours though. Yeah, but that's because the maximum GPA is 4. right? The maximum GPA is 4. So it is possible you are actually 100 times smarter than me, but the GPA still only show 2 times better than me, mine, right? Okay. Usually, the interval has the absolute 0 and has the absolute maximum also. Now, ratio usually, like the ones when it comes to length, time, weight, and more. Okay. Now then, once the measurement already at the level 3 or level 4 interval or ratio, then we can talk about the mean. Okay. When it is ordinal, we can at most go to median, at most. When it is nominal, we can at most go to mode. Now, one type of data that seems to be numerical, but is actually categorical, aka nominal, is zip code. Zip code is actually, they use numbers, but it's not interval, it's not ratio. It's actually nominal. So my zip code 91754 cannot be said that, well, because I'm 91754, I'm better than 91106. No, we can't. It's just numbers. Okay, it's just category, even though they use numbers. Okay, so I hope using this lecture today, you get a brief introduction into mode, median, and mean. What we will do tomorrow? What we'll do tomorrow is we'll extend this idea into frequency distribution. Okay, I guess I have to stop for today. Any